Hey team, just wanted to take a moment here to walk you through a government intervention to solve a market failure. This should be helpful for you in terms of how you might explain this sort of movement, making sure that you're able to reference all of the available theory for yourself. So we start off, this is going to be a negative externality of production. Perhaps there's some pollution involved in the production of the good. And so we see that there's a divergence between MPC and MSC. And we can see that the government has instituted a tax here in order to partially solve the problem. And so before I start my explanation, I would just point out, we've highlighted the amount of tax per unit so that our viewer can clearly see that. We've outlined our government revenue, and we've gone through our initial welfare loss and our subsequent welfare loss. So we have all of those things put together here. But when we start our explanation, we simply want to start talking about how the implementation of the tax has caused there to be a reduction in supply. And this reduction in supply has caused there to be a disequilibrium between points A and points B, where quantity demanded is larger than quantity supplied. This creates a shortage. The shortage creates upwards pressure on price. This change in price acts as a signal to consumers to consume less of the good, and we end up at our new equilibrium point, point C. At point C, we can see that because of the law of demand, which has reduced demand as price has increased, quantity demanded has decreased, we can see that the quantity demanded at Q tax is less than the quantity demanded at Q market. This means that the welfare loss has decreased from welfare loss 1 and welfare loss 2 back to just welfare loss 2. And that's why this government intervention should be a pretty positive intervention as far as solving this welfare loss. I've come together here and I've put together for you just a little diagram for you to kind of remember the steps that we went through there as we explained that. We said that the tax led to a decrease in supply. We said that the decrease led to a shortage because the quantity demanded at A was not the same as the quantity supplied. And we shifted over to B. This led to a shortage. The shortage caused upwards pressure on price. The upwards pressure on price signaled to consumers to reduce the quantity demanded because of the law of demand. This decrease in quantity demanded led us to a new equilibrium point at C, and at C, the quantity taxed was less than the quantity that the market had, and this caused to a decrease in welfare loss. These are the steps you'd want to go through just to make sure that you are highlighting the key points of the theory. If the question asked specifically about government revenue, then you would also want to talk about that, about how it's equal to the amount of the tax times the quantity taxed and is represented by that rectangle. But hopefully that kind of clarifies the ways in which you might need to explain a diagram like this and how you could use theory and show off your theory when you needed to do that.